are lost and you're in need of some advice, I'll try to be honest, though it's easier to lie. And you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already, but I'm telling you, baby, get up and get out, 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 get up and get out. It's okay to be broken. It's okay to laugh and cry. 'Cause when you try to see the problem, that means you figure it out. And you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already, but I'm telling you, baby, yeah. Get up and get out. Get up and get out. Yeah. And you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already, but I'm telling you, baby.
What's up, everybody? I'm Anthony. I'm your boy. Welcome to the movie premiere of SPADE, the movie, and welcome to SPADE, the podcast. What's going on, y'all? I've got a very special guest with me, our first time guester. I got Mr. Rashawn. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Great. It's really hot though.
Yeah, it is. Shasty, I have on this long sleeve, so I'm gonna be a little hot, but it's okay. I had to come dressed for this movie. So before we get started, Rashawn, tell everybody who you are and what you do. Who are you?
My name's Rashawn. A lot of my friends call me Kevin, which is my middle name. If you can see my Cash App right there too. But I'm from New Jersey, currently residing in Georgia though, currently in North Atlanta, and I work in corporate America.
Nice. Well, welcome to my special movie. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you are doing my, this is the very first time I've done an interview like this. This is a one-on-one interview with you as well as my in-person interview. So you are the very first one. So thank you. Be my guinea pig. No, but I'm glad to have you on. This is, again, a very special episode. Again, thank you guys for supporting me. Just in case to my new listeners and subscribers out there, SPADE is a mental health awareness podcast channel. And I do bring awareness to the African American community in reference to mental health, because we as African Americans, we don't like to talk about this subject, because this is mental health is kind of like a taboo subject. So my whole goal for this was to bring awareness and to say, hey, it's okay to talk about that. We're going to go ahead and dive right on in. And with this particular interview, we are going to focus on building low self-esteem. So how we can change the narrative for that. So ask you, Rashawn, so how did you first discover that you had low self-esteem? So can you tell us about exactly when did you discover that? What age?
Yeah, I would say for me, I had discovered it more so as an adult looking back. Like, you know what I
Mm,
mean? Because back then I didn't realize what it was, but I knew
mhm,
something was off, but I was
mhm,
young. I was like the age of 6. So of course, like I feel like most 6 years old, children are not going to understand what low self-esteem is.
mhm.
Not really learning that in school at the time. Parents are not really talking about, oh yeah, my child has low self-esteem issues. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right,
just
right.
a conversation.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I would say 6 years old.
okay, okay. Um, so when you were in school, um, as you progressed in school, did it get worse as far as your low self-esteem is concerned?
Right. So I would say once we moved to actually to South Jersey,
Mhm,
and I went from like an all predominantly white school to a
mhm,
predominantly black school. And it was a major difference for me. Like it really, really was. I actually felt uncomfortable in an all black school, to be honest,
mhm,
because it was just the way that the school was, the way that the children were as well. And I remember being a new student, and one of the popular students in the class was very like they were trying to, I guess, get me to be their friend, but I was
mhm,
like very shy. So I, just like, hey, like, hi, whatever, and I guess that's not what they wanted as a response. They wanted me to be in the clique, in their social circle. And
mhm.
I just wasn't comfortable with that at the time. I came from like I said, a white school where I was popular, and then here I'm just like, let me just tone that down. I don't really want that attention on me.
Mhm,
And it became a day-to-day thing where this person would make comments about the way I looked every day.
mhm.
And it would be in the classroom. It would be once we went to recess, and it's like I'm not even doing anything. I'm just minding my business. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? Not even talking to anybody, whatever. And just every day that just kept happening. I'm like, I could really lay into this person so heavily, like, and I just like, don't even go there, don't go there,
right.
whatever. But it was actually, I didn't realize that I was actually just internalizing all of that.
Mhm.
I started to believe what was being said about me on a day-to-day basis, if that makes sense.
Right, right, right. How did you how did you look, or how did you physically look per se?
I was just a slim guy, just I feel like the average child, like, like there was nothing really setting me apart.
Mm.
This person just didn't like my clothes.
Oh,
They just didn't like my skin tone, which is crazy because the
okay.
person that was making the comments was actually darker than me.
Oh, wow.
Just didn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? And then just talking about even just my face, or the structure of my head, my face, like,
Mhm.
I'm just like, okay, like every day you're just
Right.
to say the same thing over and over again. I'm going to continue to ignore you every day. And it just
What
that
did he say? You remember what he said?
well, first of all, let's be clear. It was a female who
Oh,
was um but like the females with the masculine energy. So,
right, right.
the fitted caps and all that stuff. But very, I don't want to say if I
It's okay.
unattractive,
Just say what you
um, a diet.
okay.
Sorry if I offended anybody, but I'm just saying, listen, it is what it is at this point. That was years ago. I have nothing against those kinds of people, okay? But
Right.
gonna be throwing stones, you know what I mean? And you're living in a glass house. Okay, like I said, I could have laid into this person heavily
Mhm.
because they're like I said, it wasn't a very attractive diet. Okay,
Mhm.
so normally, sometimes they be looking good, but no. So my thing is just, she would just be like, "Oh my God, like your head is so big. Like, why is your head so big?" Or then she'll be like, why are you so dark?
Mm.
You're darker than me. Like, and it's just like, and nobody, because like nobody in the class would say anything, like, you know what I mean, as a defense for me, or even as a, or even just like egging her on either. Like, you know what I mean? Just nobody would say anything. It was just kind of like,
Mm.
and I kind of got the gist of she's probably done this to just about everybody in this class before I got here because they seem to be like a little bit scared of her. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like,
So,
okay.
so because of that, did you start comparing your body image to others?
I would say, yeah, in middle school though, like not in that setting in elementary school, because like once we got to middle school, she was like away from me. So I didn't know, like, you know what I mean? Like she was in the school, but she wasn't like in my, I guess, like vicinity. So I didn't have to worry about
Yeah. Oh, so that was in elementary school still.
it. Yeah, that was elementary school. So then we went to middle school because you know, middle school and gym, for instance, like, you know, once you get over there and you have to actually change in the locker rooms now, you know,
Yeah.
so now you're seeing different guys and their bodies are developing at this point because and a lot of people are athletic. I was never really athletic. So that wasn't me. So my build was just always just still slim. Like, you know what I mean? I was just always the slim guy, skinny, you know, getting those comments all the time, especially
Mm.
um, more so out of school, I would say more so. But I would say because of that, and you know, when it comes to like puberty, right? So
Mm.
that's like when your body's supposed to be changing and developing, whatever. So I always thought, because I was told as a kid that because I was slim, I was gonna be really tall. I'm 5'5.5" to this day. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm not even average height.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just like, okay, like that didn't work. I was waiting for puberty to hit me and be like,
Mm.
okay, this like maybe I'm gonna be gain more weight, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, like seeing the guys in the locker room and then like I said, in just gym class, it got to the point literally where I stopped getting dressed for gym and
Mm.
I actually I was getting like a almost like a detention because I had to like because I was actually failing gym at one point because I stopped getting dressed and the teacher's like, why did you just, you know what I mean? Because she liked me and I was a good student, especially in health and stuff. And I didn't tell her, of course, like, you know, this is what's going on or whatever. But so I just knew that she would take me after school and be like, okay, you could just walk the track and you'll get your credit back. So I did that the whole year. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like not get dressed. And then it was like once I got into high school, it got to the point where it was like, okay, I don't have that teacher anymore. You know what I mean? They're probably not gonna be as lenient in high school. So what I did was I would wear my gym clothes underneath my outfit for the day so that I can go to the locker room. I would get there late, first of all. I would always come to the gym late so that I'm the last person in the locker room. Have my clothes underneath, change it out right quick, just in case there was someone else in there. Just change out real quick, and then just you know what I mean, be on my way. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever, and then just be like, and then I still didn't like it anyway. It's like once you get changed, because I was like I said, so slim. Um, I didn't like the way my legs look because I'm like, oh my god, like you know, you're wearing gym shorts. I'm like, oh my god, like this is so annoying. So I would always want to sit like in the back of the class. You know what I mean? So I'm not seen. So
Mhm.
terrible. It was ridiculous. Um, and and actually, if I could even backtrack to middle school,
Mhm.
another thing that also affected my self-esteem, the way I looked, was I actually ended up having a plastic surgery in middle school. Um,
Oh wow. What happened?
I actually had a tumor growing on my face, right? So a tumor was growing.
Wow.
So it was like a mandatory thing because every time I say that, like people are like, "Oh my God, he got plastic surgery." Like in middle school, like you know, and like it wasn't like that. It wasn't like your favorite celebrities, okay? Just letting you know. Um, it wasn't like that. So like it was a thing that I had to get done. Like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
got it done. I don't look any different. It's just like obviously there's no tumor on my face, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
But after that surgery, because there's a healing process after you get surgery. So after that surgery, um, I was pretty much right back in school. So I had like swelling though at the same time. Like, what I mean? So there was like some swelling and it was way more like you could still notice that something was different with my face, right? You would notice back then.
Mm,
And you know how kids are, you know what I mean? So kids can be very cruel and you just get these weird looks all day, every day, no matter where you go. Like, you know what I
mhm.
mean? And then that started making me look in the mirror more and more. I looked in the mirror every day and I was just like, sometimes I'll just cry. So I'm just like, this, up until this point, I never had this problem. I look like I felt like I was just different. Like, at that point I really
Right.
did a monster, and I'm
Did
just
you ever tell your parents or anything like that?
no. I internalized a lot, you know what I mean? I
Mm,
didn't tell them that. Like one of the doctor, I remember the doctor that did surgery because I guess he knew that he didn't do the best job, you know what I mean? So he was like, you know, uh if you want this to go away, we could do a second surgery. Like, you know what I mean, to where we could kind of like hide it more, do like I think he was talking like more of like a skin graft thing. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like, you should have did that during this surgery. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. So
right.
I never went back. But, that's something that I probably just kind of got over in the last few years.
Wow. Where was it on your face? Because
Uh,
I can't even tell.
no, that's right here. My chin, it was actually right on my chin. I was going
Wow.
to a dermatologist at the time, and I was
Mm,
actually going for acne. And she just happened to point that out. She was like, I think you're gonna need surgery for this because it's too big. Like, it was growing or whatever. And I didn't even notice it until she said it. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody noticed it really. And then it was like surgery. I'm like, okay, like, you know what I mean? So
right. Fast forward back to your body image. So were you when did you become like actually satisfied with your body image?
uh, well, I
Or
don't want
are you satisfied with your body image now?
to no, I'm not. I'm not, and it's not for I feel like it's okay to not
Mhm.
satisfied with my body image. And actively right now, like currently, I have like a mass protein gainer in my kitchen. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's something I personally want to do. And if it doesn't work, then I'm okay with saying, okay, all right, then I guess God had another plan that it's okay. This is
Mhm.
I gave you, this is what you're working with, and that's it. And my thing is at the end of the day, if I know that I've tried different avenues at least and it doesn't work out, like if I don't ever gain the extra weight that I want or even the muscle mass that I would want, then at least if I know that I tried, I'll be okay with that at the end of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. How do other people view you?
Other people view me. Body image wise?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm just trying to think like with your what you think your body image compared to how other people view you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think that your body image is as bad as you think it is. So
okay.
what do other people actually view you as?
Slim, skinny. Um, I think sometimes they're shocked. I'm not like anorexic skinny though. Like that's the thing too. Like I'm just like there's people way skinnier than me.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just don't know. It's like, and it's not like my body is not proportionate either. So it's just like
Right.
I don't understand where that comes from, why people are so pressed on saying that. Because if I'm being honest, and this is no offense to anybody, but I'm just gonna have to say it.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna go up to a fat person and say, "Oh my gosh, you're fat. Oh my gosh, you're fat. You're overweight. You know, you're obese."
Hmm.
But you have the courage and the audacity to say to someone that's slimmer than you. Or are you gonna go up to an anorexic person and say, "Oh, you're anorexic"?
Hmm.
No, you're not. I don't know why we feel comfortable to talk to me that way. Like honestly.
That's true because people have come to me and said, "Oh, you look like you've lost weight." What?
I've
like,
gotten that too before. Yeah, I've gotten that too. I'm just
like I have me personally, I have a high metabolism.
right,
So, but and also I have difficulty gaining weight, but that's because of the medication that I take. Because I'm epileptic and all this different medication. The medication causes weight loss. So I'm in a constant struggle with a high metabolism, a weight loss medication, and then like my appetite, even though I eat, it's like kind of I eat a lot, but it's still zapped in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've like literally weighed the same from now since high school, like literally, or maybe, yeah, because as of now, I just went to the doctor like yesterday, not yesterday, well, Friday. I was 116. So, um, yeah, I've always been borderline between that 115 to 120. If I get 120, that's good, but then it'll drop back down, then it'll fluctuate. So I feel exactly what you said. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a constant battle of like constantly trying to get that weight on and whatever. And I also have to I was doing the protein shakes and stuff like that. I have to get some more because I think the breakfast essentials that I have now, um, I think I've had them a little too long because like when I'm drinking them, it has like a little at the bottom you can taste like some clumpiness to it. So I think I've had it too long. Like I it used to go like on a reoccurring thing where I would order through Amazon. So I had like a lot of boxes. So I'm just now getting done to like the last ones, but these last ones they have like just I can't like drink them anymore because they have the clumps. I'm probably just gonna have to toss them or whatever and just start actually getting like the powder or whatever. But anyway, but back to what I was saying, like I completely understand. And like, it's just crazy to me that yeah, and people say, "Oh, you look a little skinny or whatever." Like, you like you said, you wouldn't say that to a bigger person because it's always eggshells when you walking talking with a bigger person, like, hey, you look nice. But it's just I think it's like a kind of a double I think it's a double standard. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Um, as far as with a skinny person, they have the courage to say certain things to a skinny person they wouldn't say to a bigger person.
right.
Now, for those that are watching this live, I could I could be wrong. So since this is a Facebook premiere live, you tell me what you think in the comments or whatever, and we'll go from there and see.
Well, if I could add to that, just a little piece right there. It's like you can't even call someone fat anymore. Everybody's thick. You're not thick. You're beyond thick. Okay, I'm done.
I got another question for you. So, have you ever compared yourself to people such as celebrities within different media outlets, or either a celebrity or a musician or anything like that?
Honestly, no, because I watched a lot of growing up. I watched a lot of wrestling.
Mhm.
That was fake. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of
Yeah.
them words, and that was just like unattainable stuff. And I really wasn't worried about that growing up.
Mhm.
On TV. Like, and I don't remember seeing like musicians or actors or anyone that had my body type. If like I can't think of anyone until later on in life as an adult. Like for instance, like someone maybe more so like I would say the closest which would be not his current body, but a little bit some years before would be like a Justin Bieber.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? That would be more closer to like my body image, you know, not
Mhm.
toning up all the way how he is now, but like if you look at him before that, I would say that would be something more, but that was years later, right? You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
I want to say he's probably like a year older than me. So, you know, it's like that generation of people represented me, but that wasn't there growing up because obviously he was discovered through YouTube. Even female wise, there wasn't really many people like that, right? As far as, you know, most females have that full womanly body, but then now you have like a someone who also is around the same age, which is Ariana Grande, and she's very slim. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, but she's a grown woman, or like a Halle Bailey from the Chloe and Halle duo. Some they're both from Small Girls, but you know Chloe's more thick. You know what I mean now, but Halle's still slim.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So if I would have seen that growing up, then I would say probably like I was looking at them, but no.
Yeah. Do you think because of media portrayals, there's a specific definition of what is perfect that most people want to achieve?
Yes, definitely. Because it's pushed. It's pushed. And I don't want to say it's just for I would say Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, Snapchat, and like Twitter and all these social media apps that we have out here, they do push. I feel like certain people, which are normally of lighter skin complexions, right?
Mhm.
People say they are easier to market,
I
right?
was
That's
just about to
why,
ask, why do you think they push the lighter skinned people?
yeah, that's why you can have someone who has talent like a Kelly Rowland, right? Who has just as much talent as a Beyonce. The work ethic, Beyonce probably would kill her in, but she still does work hard and she still knows what she's talking about. She still knows how to perform. She can sing very well. Um, and with the success, for instance, of Destiny's Child, how can a record label tell a Kelly Rowland after the success of Destiny's Child, tell her she's too dark?
Mm.
It don't even make sense. Like
And you know what, and if you look at her complexion, she's not even
she
dark.
was saying, like when I was coming up, there wasn't that brown skin, whatever, you know, because that's what I always see myself as. And honestly, and because I got that as even a kid in elementary school, you know, I thought something was wrong. I said, something's wrong with this. Like, I remember being in class and, you know, they were uh, draw yourself, right? And I remember, you know, thinking, okay, mm, I want to draw black people and white people. So I picked up a white crayon and I've like looked over to my right and I'm like, this isn't their skin color. I'm like, oh, it's more like a peach. So why do we call them white people? Like, you know what I mean? Then I picked up the black crayon and I put it to my skin. As a kid, I shouldn't be doing that, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? But I picked up the black crayon, put it to my skin. I'm like, I'm not black. So why are they calling us black people? I picked up the brown crayon. I'm like, okay, this is me. Okay, cool. So then I started drawing, but then I'm like, something, it just doesn't look right. So I guess I feel like in my mind was trained to use that black crayon. So I went right back to the black crayon and I just drew myself with the black crayon.
Mm,
But obviously, deep down, I knew something was wrong.
mm. So now we get to turn into some positive things. So I'm gonna make you think. What activities actually makes you feel like you have a purpose? So actions, activities, what makes you feel that you matter, that you have a purpose in your life?
I would say like when I go to the park on the weekend, which is when I can outside my work schedule, going to the park, that helps me with my self-esteem, honestly, just because I know that I'm out here getting exercise, I'm enjoying this weather, you know what I mean? I'm soaking up this sun, I look good, right? So I just feel like that helps me though. And
Mhm.
um I think I
So
would
you jog around the park?
I don't jog, not around the park. Now I do want to get a gym where I can, get on a treadmill because that would be more of my. If I'm gonna jog, I want to do it on a machine
Mhm.
or like the cycling stuff. So I want to do like all the cardio things, but I gotta just get into the gym and I just need like a 24/7 gym where I can do that and focus on that and yeah, I think that'll be. I know I say I'm gonna do it and I haven't done it yet, but it's just because I'm waiting on something right quick. And then once that happens, assure you I'll be in the gym every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, minimum Saturday and Sunday. Because if I get a 24/7 one, I'll go right after work. Promise you. uh, that makes me feel good. And even just, I would say, the activity of just maintaining like my hair, because that was for my self-esteem, my hair was a really, it was a decent sized component as well because everyone wants to see you with the going to a barber shop. That's what men do. They go to the barber
Yeah.
salons, they don't get their hair done and stuff like that. So that type of stigma and doing what I want to do, you know what I mean, for me personally, I feel like, and if my hair looks messy, oh well, then send me $80 cash app and I'll get it done. Promise you.
who who are the
That's
people that has improved your life?
I would say my dad would be someone, and my parents, mom and dad, as far as trying to make sure we're healthy, especially growing up, of course, because you get to pretty much decide what your children are going to eat, right?
Right, right.
Having that, and as an adult, I would say my brother, and that's closest in age to me. I would say him as far as with just, when I tell him my different goals and stuff, is always supportive and, you know, even saying, even supporting as far as like, you're fine just how you are type of thing. But I'm like, oh, I gotta do this for me, but and still having that support at the same time. And uh one of my best friends as well, which is like a brother to me as well. So, and he's always like, every time I talk to him, he's like, oh, he's always like, I'm so proud of you for going to the park. You're always at the park, and that just reminds me, like, yeah, I really am always at the park. Like, I'm really always walking, trying to get my exercise in when I can, like I said. So yeah, definitely those people.
Nice, nice. Um, so what are your three favorite qualities about yourself?
um, Hold on, let me, because I had notes on that one.
Look, he's got notes, y'all.
Okay, so I chose these three. So I said my kind-heartedness,
Mm-hmm.
a very supportive person of others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, those would be
Well,
right.
you broke up just now. So you said your intelligence and then what?
Oh, being supportive. So supportive.
Okay. Okay. So why those?
I would say kind-hearted because for one, we need more of that in the world, like
Mm,
just kind-hearted people. And I feel like if we just had that, that chain reaction, one person being kind to the next, and that just going on and on and on, because I feel like that's really what the world is um, compromised of, is just of people's actions and how they treat others, and it's like a ripple effect around the world that you're
mm-hmm.
just aware of. Supportiveness, because I feel like, again, we need to support one another and what we want to do, and it might not be what you necessarily believe, right? But you can
Yeah.
still to the people around you, your friends. And like, for instance, sometimes we'll have a business idea, right? And you'll say that business idea to the people closest to you, and it's like they don't really believe in you. They don't want you to really they don't truly want you to really succeed. They'll say that, you know what I mean, but do they support your business? Do they buy the product that you're selling? Do they invest the time to listen to your podcast, to
Mm-hmm.
support you? But they'll listen to the next person's. That's why someone said, I seen someone say on social media, they said, just don't tell them it's yours. Just, you know what I mean? Just don't even tell them it's yours. If you start the business, tell them it's yours. Just, oh, I found this great Adidas shirt. They sell great Adidas shirts at this company over here. Just send them a link and see if they support then. Yeah, as long as it's not you, they'll seem to support. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
gotta be that, and so kind-hearted supportiveness and intelligence. So I chose intelligence because I feel like it's not something everyone has, for one. It's not, you know what I mean? And intelligence doesn't even mean because you have a degree. There's plenty of people who have degrees who are ignorant.
exactly.
And there's people who are that don't have a degree that are like scholars.
Mm-hmm.
So um, so I choose intelligence because I feel like that's also important, because you want to be knowledgeable about, different people and what people just go through, and I feel like also intelligence is having the mindset to be open to listen to others and not judging them as well. That takes an intelligent person to get to that point, right? To understand that as well. You're not always right, you're not always going to agree, but you can still, listen to people. You can still give them advice. You can still, just be there. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so as we wrap it up, one final question. So why are you important to the people in your life?
So okay, I had notes for this one too. I have notes because I just didn't want to say the wrong thing, because it took me a while, like, just thinking about them. I'm just like, what? Like, why am I important? You know, but I feel like, without even looking at my notes right now, so I just feel like I'm important because I show the people around me that you can honestly live your life your own way. You can do it your way. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. No matter if people believe in you or not, you can accomplish your goals. I living witness, thank God for in that, and I've preached that for so long, like since I wanted to even be a manager and leadership and at my job, so probably about since maybe like since 21, I've been saying
Mhm,
that, like, like,
mhm.
I'm gonna be that manager, I'm gonna be that leader, and I don't have to be at a company for 6 years to get it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I will apply to a company and become a leader. And just about no one believed that was going to happen. And it happened
Mm,
several times. So, I tell people just do what you want to do. Like if you wanna, I'm the person that reminds you, if you want to grow out your hair, because for the people that told me don't do it, I did it. And you can see my hair now. And it's getting done next week, and you can still send me $80. So it's getting done next week. But I grew out my hair because I wanted to. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
don't care what other people say. And that's another thing. I do not care what people say because when it came time to move, I went to Delaware before, after I got out of Jersey, I went to Delaware. Everyone's like, what's in Delaware? Peace of mind. And that's what's in Delaware. They were like, oh, nothing. I know that. Like, I didn't say anything was in Delaware. It doesn't matter. I was happy though. You understand? I would move back to Delaware, honestly. I liked it there. And like I said, it was nothing to do, but like I said, it was very peaceful and I enjoyed that. And I was right next to Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Jersey. So I had the best of, all these worlds that I could choose from at any time. So, and then eventually, I went from Delaware to Georgia. And that's like 700 miles, and I made that decision very quickly and swiftly. And, I just kind of brought it up real quick. I'm moving to Georgia next week. And that's what happened. I just up and left. And I would, if I want to go to California tomorrow, I'm going. It is what it is. I don't care about none of that because it's like it's those people that want to hold you back that don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Never move out of state. They'll, you know what I mean. They'll never go out their hair. I went to get my ears pierced right there. That makes me happy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. Um, so what advice can you give to someone as we wrap it up that's dealing with low self-esteem, that's kind of dealt with some of the similar challenges that you dealt with as far as like with the body image issues? What would you tell that person or child or anybody? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that you're okay. It'll be okay. Um, there truly is a light at the end of the tunnel. You have to worry about you. You have to accept you for who you are. You didn't come into this world and choose your body, for one. Okay, you didn't choose it. It is what it is. Like you have to learn what works for your body, though. Okay, so you have to learn your body, and your body is not going to be like the next person. So just because they don't understand it and they either want to be rude or they just want to make these comments like, "Hey, oh, you're just slim because you don't eat," it's ignorance. Okay, that's what it is. It's ignorance. And as you just you grow, get older, you'll learn that more and more. And it might take years for you to get to the point of just saying, you know what, this is just me. That's why there's some people that are just big, right? Like honestly, some people are just, they have it in their genes, right? Some people are born that way, they just want to be uh 300 pounds in seventh grade. No, but maybe that's just their body. They're gonna have to figure that out though, right? It happens to even in, gospel singers, right? We look at someone like well, I don't want to talk about these people, but the Pace sisters, if you know who the Pace sisters are, or the Clark sisters, those are some big girls too. Kiara Shear, stuff like that. It's just like, I'm sure if they had a choice, they would have all chose to be like in an average sized body. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So just my advice would just be you, learn your body, and block everybody else out, and just walk with God.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, learn to accept you for you. As you said, don't try and compare yourself with other people, because if, for example, you may see somebody else that has the muscles, or you may see somebody else that has this that you don't have, but um, you don't know their story. They don't know your story. You don't know what's happened with them, what trials that they've gone through and stuff like that. So don't ever compare yourself. Don't ever assume that somebody has a better life than what you do, because you don't know the crossroads and the struggles that everybody has gone through, because everybody's gone through something. Um, you're not the only one. Um, learn to embrace your body image, learn to embrace who you are. Um, we are all made in God's image. He did not make a mistake. Um, so once you accept your image and accept that, you love yourself, learn to love yourself. Um, before you can love anybody else, you got to learn to love yourself, you know? um, and sometimes that means that we have to go um, kind of sometimes you may have to go in isolation, where you may have to just pamper yourself, get to know yourself, learn what you like, learn what you don't like. Just learn about yourself, learn to embrace yourself. And once you learn to love yourself, then, like you said, what other people think will not matter at all, you know?
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on. This was a wonderful interview. I cannot wait for y'all to see my one-on-one interview, my in-person. So y'all stay tuned. Hope y'all enjoyed this segment. Rashawn, again, thank you for coming on. And we'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm your boy Anthony, and welcome to my second part of Spade the Podcast and Spade the Movie. So, as you guys can see that we are doing our virtual interview. Unfortunately, we couldn't do one-on-one, but it's all good. It's all good. It's still gonna be amazing. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear what we're about to talk about. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's my next guest, Jennifer. What is going on with you? What's up,
Hey,
girl?
hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's going great. Great to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me. I really, really am happy about it.
No problem. Thank you for agreeing to come on. Like I'm really happy about that. So tell everybody exactly who you are, what do you do, who is Jennifer?
Well, first off, I work for the state. I work with children and families. Something I've always wanted to do. Prior to that, I was in nursing. Still working with the community. But one of the most big things and my job is I am a mom, and mom to a little special little boy named Mason.
Oh, and that is one of our topics that we are going to talk about is May. So,
We can
okay.
call him May May. That's what I call him.
Call May May.
Yep. It's funny,
All
but it's a cute way, but it's okay.
right. So, first of all, before we start, y'all like my shirt, y'all? Y'all like this? Being black is dope, yo. This is Celebration Juneteenth. So again, y'all, happy Juneteenth, everybody. Um, Today I actually went to a festival that had some Juneteenth paraphernalia, so I had to get this for this dope recording. So hope y'all love it. But
It's amazing.
but in all seriousness, we're actually going to talk about dandywalker syndrome, and then we're going to talk about self-care. So I want to turn it over to Jennifer. Jennifer, I want you to explain to everyone exactly what is dandywalker syndrome, because I know a lot of people are very unfamiliar with that term. I know I was when I first found out that your son had dandywalker syndrome. So can you enlighten us on what exactly it is?
Of course. So I will be speaking in more of layman terms, not the medical terms. So Dandy Walker, as we call it Dandy, it is a very big spectrum, just like autism. You know, you have your mild form and you have a lot severe form. So Dandy Walker is clinically described as agenesis of the corpus callosum. It is the enlargement of the fourth ventricle in your brain. Okay. And in your brain, there is something that is like a nerve that runs down the middle of your brain. And what that nerve does is it communicates between both sides of your brain. And with that missing, there is a lot of physical developmental delay. So, including with that is hydrocephalus. All children with Dandy will have hydrocephalus either when they're born or as they grow up. So we are with a wonderful hospital here in Maryland, in Baltimore, Johns Hopkins, and they have been very amazing, especially with me and my husband, to tell us and explain to us what it is. Okay. But also with Dandy Walker, sometimes there is a missing cerebellum or a very small cerebellum. And it also can include something called a Blake cyst pouch, which is a big cyst that is mostly filled with fluid. So with Dandy Walker, it is never alone without another medical diagnosis. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's basically Mason when he was born, instead of in utero, you know how they learn to kick and they get that brain development as they grow through the trimesters. Well, with Mason, he wasn't able to learn that. So he has to retrain the brain. So that's why it's a lot slower process.
So you said that with Dandy, there's another, could be another
diagnosis.
Diagnosis with it. So does he have another diagnosis with?
So he has cleft lip and palate. So he has a bilateral cleft lip and palate. And he also has something called central vision impairment, and it's called CVI. And that is always coincide with Dandy Walker, because with that small cerebellum, your optic nerves run and connect to that cerebellum for vision. Without that cerebellum, the vision can't function. So that is another symptom that he has, or medical diagnosis that he has.
Is it possible that he could develop seizures?
Yes. So dandy babies are very prone to seizures. Mason is very, very lucky. He does not have that.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
And with the hydrocephalus, which always coincides with dandywalker, normal doctors, neurologists, or neurosurgeons always like to be ahead of the game. So Mason had a very small fluid, not a whole lot of hydrocephalus, but we were proactive. We put that shunt in there, and
Okay.
that is what helps release the pressure and the flow of hydrocephalus.
Okay. Now, how is his medication? Like, what type of, is he on medication or?
He is not. We
Oh,
are
okay.
very, very, very blessed that we are
Nice.
very we're only we're very lucky that we only have one part. It's just the brain. He
Okay.
is, yeah, so it's just the brain, and he's very he's right now there's no intellectual, which is, we're very blessed with that, but it is very hard for him to learn because it's all physical developmental delay is what we're having. So he has to retrain his body to sit up, to move his hands, to move his legs, you know, to clench things. So that's, he's just all there into the brain. We're very lucky, no organ damage, no organ issues. He's on no medication. He's pretty much a very healthy little boy.
Okay. How did that occur? Like this whole with the Danny Walker, how did it? Is that a genetic type thing, or did
No.
something happen with pregnancy, or?
So there are a lot of different theories, if I may say. I That's something that's always been on the part of questioning, like, what did I do? Did I do something? Well, the one biggest thing that is with dandy babies, it's not genetic. It's
Okay.
mostly environmental. It is always coincide with another syndrome. So for instance, you can have you could have John Beret syndrome and dandywalker, because there are birth defects from John Beret, and he shows other symptoms of John Beret. And that's where they see the cleft palate as, oh, he has a cleft palate. There's something else wrong with him, not secluding the palate. But the one thing that I know that a lot of other medical professionals that handle Mason's care and mine, I took Zofran in the beginning of pregnancy. I had the syndrome to where you're constantly vomiting throughout pregnancy, and I wasn't able to eat or keep anything down. So I was given Zofran at 6.5 weeks of pregnancy, and I was on Zofran from that time up until the day before delivery. And as I did a lot of research, my own research, I was able to find other parents throughout the world, mostly in the United States, that had taken the same medication and have the same birth defects with this. So that is something that I have looked into, and as a theory of mine, it has not been, confirmed. We can't say that, because it's a very hard, that you can't test that. You can only go by what you've done. So that's mine. All of my family have no issues with cleft palate, cleft lip. Majority of cleft lip and cleft palate is genetic. And it's one of the most common birth defects. I mean, it's so common. 1 in 600 children have cleft lip and palate. They're born with it. But Dandy Walker is 1 in 100,000 babies. Out of 100,000. It's very rare.
Wow. What was your initial reaction after you discovered your son was diagnosed with Dandy?
So I will never forget the day me and my husband went to the ultrasound for our regular 21-week growth ultrasound. Super excited. Same doctor I've delivered my other 3 children with. And I remember going to do the anatomy scan, and we were confirming he was a boy. And then all of a sudden he had turned, and the sonogram lady looked, and she goes, and that's a sound you never want to hear, especially as a mom. So we completed the anatomy exam, and then we were pulled into fetal assessment area of the facility. And the doctor came to us and said, I wanted to let you know, don't be, stressed. It's very common, but your son does have cleft lip and palate. Now, to me as a mom, that was the worst. We didn't know the rest.
Right.
And our doctor has been in the MedStar for over 30 years. So he has seen it all. And he questioned what he saw. And he told us, look, I don't want to get you worried, but there is something I am seeing, and you need to go to Hopkins to confirm. And for a second, he hesitated to tell us because he's known me since, I don't know, over 10 years. And
Right.
he finally was open, and he said, it's possible he has Dandy Walker. And he didn't say malformation. He said Dandy Walker. And what does some person who finds out something, what do? When in doubt, we Google. And when I did that, my world collapsed. It was like it was silent. And I couldn't hear, I couldn't see. And it was like, what am I reading? And I can say that's the worst thing I would have done throughout my whole pregnancy. But I should have never Googled. I can tell you that.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. And I think as a mom, you try to figure out, like, what am I going to do? That's my worst trait, is I'm a worrywart. And I always think ahead. I always think of the what if, I always think that. Here I am in the medical field. My husband's in the medical field, and we're trying to figure out what happened. So with that, we went directly to Hopkins. We had the sonogram again. I then went into genetic testing, where they do a microarray testing. And then I had an amniocentesis. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's when they take amniotic fluid right next to the baby and out of the uterus, and they test the amniotic fluid, which majority of that is the baby cells. And that's like drawing blood from us, getting those cells to test. They tested for every syndrome. They tested for every disorder. They tested for everything. And we were very, very blessed to know he has nothing else. because normally dandy coincides with something else. And that's why we were scared, because he had the cleft lip, he had dandy, and we're like, what else? And throughout the whole pregnancy, you're walking through the unknown for 9 months. It's the unknown, because there is no way to know for sure until the baby is born.
So were you, did you go through a depression during your pregnancy, or did you,
I did.
because you information?
Yes, I did. And it was very hard, because it was also making me very stressed, because during that time I was going through a lot of issues with personal and ex-husband and going to court, and then you have to listen to this, and it's like, this is too much. So that was taken care of, and now it's, what are my children gonna think? How are my children gonna handle this with their brother? This is something all new to them. You know, am I gonna be able to go back to work? Am I gonna have a child that is completely and utterly, you know, they, as the term Hopkins did, he would be a vegetable. And regardless of what the outcome was, me and my husband made the decision to never terminate, but we would let God take his role in this, you know. And we did, and we did a lot of praying, and we did everything. And I remember the day he was born, he came out, he looked right at my husband, he peed on my husband. So he was ready, he was raring to go when he was born. He was ready to go. So that was the he made one little cry, and he was like, leave me alone, I just want to go to sleep. But yeah, that's when you know, like, there's nothing you can do. There's no answers that you're gonna have. There's nothing. I mean, they even recommend with pregnant women having a fetal MRI, to where they can actually see the fetus and be able to look at everything, which is very invasive. It's safe but invasive. But that's one of the other ways to diagnose dandywalker in utero.
So, is there a cure?
Yeah. There is no cure. There is only, I don't want to say treatment, because treatment can lead to a cure, but it's more of how to make the child stronger, if that makes sense.
As a mom, do you fear, as your son gets older, that his life is going to be filled with a lot of obstacles, such as him dealing with his own self-esteem issues by his physical appearance, and emotional issues, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, that is something that all parents are going to worry about. We're all going to worry if our children are, you know, going to be bullied, especially with a deformity, being a little deformed. Um, you know, his cleft lap palate is fixed, but his head shapen because of the hydrocephalus is an oval. His face is a little, you know, a little misshapen. But Mason has been around a lot of people, and I can tell you that I'm more not worried than worried, you know, because of the support system he has and the kids that he talks to and hangs out with here. I see nothing but love. And I know I mean, even with adults, you know, for example, one of the guys at our firehouse, no relation to my son, but my son has a contagious smile. You know, he's always happy. He has this contagious smile. And I went to the firehouse and I look at his phone and I see my son on his screen, home screen. And I'm like, what are you doing with my son's picture? And he goes, he just makes me smile. And every time I have a bad day or I feel down, I look at that smile and he just makes me happy. And this is no relation to my son, just a coworker, a fellow volunteer. And that's when you know that there are more kind people in this world, and children know to be kind. And that's what I'm hoping and I'm praying, and I believe is going to happen, is he's just going to touch everyone and he's just going to have nothing but love with him. But as he grows up, of course we all think that. But with obstacles, I feel it's more of physical developmental obstacles is what I'm more concerned of, because he's nonverbal.
Okay. So, at what age do you think he's considered to be at right now?
So intellectually, he's at 5 years old. You know, physically, he's between 9 and 12 months. You know, he knows how, like, for today, for example, he has never slept on his stomach ever in his life. I come in and he's on his blanket, sleeping on his stomach. And it's like, when did you learn that? You know, when did you learn it? So I feel that he's getting there. He's absorbing everything. But he's a 5-year-old stuck in a little 9-month-old body physically, and he's just raring to go. So all these things are happening with his body, and the neurons are firing, and he's trying to absorb and do everything, but he knows he can't. But he's going to try. Like when he wants Christmas lights, he'll roll all the way to the Christmas light. He'll roll all the way through the floor just to grab that light. He'll find a way, but it's very hard for him to have any physical anything. Like he's 100% physically, he needs to have that person there.
So will that do you guys have to go through like some type of I guess you can say like a therapy or something for him? Okay.
Yep. So when he was born, literally right when he was born at Hopkins, they had OT, speech, they had therapy. Oh, sorry about that. My connected to my Bluetooth. I apologize. So that's, he knows he wants to do more, but it's just hard for him. He's 100%. He's going to need, like when he goes to school, 100%. He needs somebody there to move him, to feed him, to change him. He needs all of that assistance.
We're going to shift gears. Going to go ahead and shift gears, and we're actually going to talk about self-care now, because it seems like
it's a big one.
Yes, because it seems like that you forget about yourself in the midst of taking care of everyone else and a lot of your responsibilities. So before we talk about exactly how you forget about yourself, let's talk about a typical day. What does your typical day look like?
So a typical day is, well, he's not in school now. He'll start school next year. So we won't talk about the school because I haven't been there. I haven't started doing that yet. So on a typical day, on a work day for me and myself and the other children go to school, Mason, he sleeps in. He doesn't like to wake up early. So he's always sleeping in until 9, 10 o'clock. And he stays up all night, partying in his crib. He likes his mobile and his cell phone, and he's just, he's doing his fun, but he wakes up late. Me, I wake up early, get the kids off to school by 7:50 or 7:15, and I'm bringing Mason down. Now, I'm very, very lucky and blessed to have my mom. She is one of the biggest supporters and caretakers for him. She's retired, so that's something that she wanted to do. So I get him ready for my mom. I wake him up. Have to go into the fridge and take out his food, he is G-tube fed. So, which is a computer, like a little mini computer that you put math in, and it calculates how much he eats. That's the best thing in the world, because I don't have to stop and feed him. I can just start doing laundry, add to eat. So he gets ready to eat, and when he's down in the crib and still asleep, I have to dress his Mickey tube in the G tube. So all that has to be changed, dried. It's basically like a wound care. So that has to be sealed up. That has to be airtight with no bacteria to get into it. Then I have to hook up his feeding tube, which is a tube that is connected like a straw to the Mickey tube. And then I have to prime his food. And that's like a 10 to 15 minute process. After the food thaws out. And then I have to set the timer. And in all of this, I'm still trying to get myself ready. It's very hard. I always come last when it comes to that. So after he's settled and done, then I have to run upstairs, get ready, and to be on the road by 7:20. And in the midst of that, I'm getting my daughter ready and packing her lunch. Half the time, I don't even leave my house with makeup on. I even put it on in the car, and that's being totally honest. It's very hard. Then when I'm at work, I'm able to concentrate a little bit on myself. Getting my bearings straight is what I call it, because it does take time to catch your bearings after you're doing all shuffling around. By the time I get home is about 5:15. Mason is on the floor playing. I got to get his food ready, his food put on. I have to get him already in the bath and ready. Like, he is ready for bed by 6:00, just so I have time to cook dinner, to get the other kids ready. And my husband works. He works a lot, and he does help as he can. But it is very hard for him because Mason and mom have a communication, if that makes sense. I'm able to understand his cues. I'm able to help him settle. My husband knows what he needs to do. My husband knows what he's able to do, but at the same time, it's hard for him to handle Mason because Mason's doesn't understand what his dad's cues are, if that makes sense. When Mason's uncomfortable with getting dressed or something's hurting him, he signs on different parts of his body, and dad doesn't really know that. So then Mason gets frustrated. And so that's all done by 6:00. Okay. He's eating his food. That takes about an hour and a half to run through the complete feed. And while he's feeding, I'm cooking dinner. Here it is already 7:00. My husband's home. We don't get any downtime. So by 7:00, 7:30, he's done eating and he's up. He's up where he wants to play, do this. But by 9:00 is bedtime. All I've done at home is cook dinner and take care of him.
Wow.
I'm not able to do anything else. and it's hard.
Wow.
And that's a typical day is majority of it is the care for him. And like I said, when he's a little boy, 5-year-old boy stuck in a 1-year-old body. When he is on the floor eating and he has this big long tube that's finally connected to him and all he does is spin, what do you think that tube and that wire is doing? He's getting all mangled in it. And there's nothing we can do about it because he doesn't like to sit solely. So half the time I'm coming back and forth just trying to get him untied, or he's breaking the pump and the pump's beeping. So talk about overstimulation. It takes about 2 hours to get him ready for bed, from bath to bath, because sometimes, you know, if I move him around right after eating, he'll vomit. Like today, he vomited all over himself because he was upset. He bit his finger and he started to cry. Now with the cleft lip and the cleft palate, if you look at the back of your throat, imagine the little dangly thing. It's cut in half, and now you have 2 on each side of your throat. So they fishtail. So you're gonna gag. So he gets upset, he bit his finger, and he threw up all his food all over him. I'm talking, he had a pool in his belly button of food. And he went straight to the bath. Like literally, there was nothing I can do. Like just make sure his airway's clear, suction it all out. But then it's like, oh my God, you threw up all your food. Now I have to do this all over again and feed you because you're not getting your calories. Because he burns more than he's actually getting in because, you know, he's so active that sometimes he gets very upset and frustrated. He'll throw up because he's very easily he's very easily able to throw up with the slightest, you know, cough, irritation, anything, because of the cleft palate.
And this is basically a typical day in a sense. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's crazy you say that because it's normal for me. It's normal. It's become routine and normal. And I think I've gone through so many pillowcases. My grandmother gave me her whole pillowcase because we just live on pillowcases and receiving blankets. And it's like, we don't even use paper towels. It's always a blanket because it's literally, Pediasure Harvest is so thick. It's like a green smoothie milkshake, warm. And he gets 500 milliliters of that. And it's like, it's a lot. And when he throws it up, it's like, look how long and how much it took you so long to get that down. It's a lot of effort to keep it down. And then you throw it up. And it's like, it actually makes me feel defeated sometimes because when he was born, he's failure to thrive. So it's like always that in the back of your mind, like, he's chunky, he's got a little belly, he's got thunder thighs, he's got all the rolls, but he's 5 years old and, you know, he's still under 40 pounds. Is because he's not as mobile, but now he's more mobile. You know, we have our ups and downs, but when he gets sick, it's done. He'll lose about 6 pounds. It's once we get that million steps back, it's very hard to get it. You got to do 3, 4, 5 times more work. And we are amazing. We are so blessed to have an amazing GI doctor at Hopkins. He knows Mason. He's been with Mason at birth. If it wasn't for Hopkins and the support with Hopkins and even the school, I don't know where I would be.
Wow.
Yeah. And honestly, I never knew what dandywalker was, and dandywalker has a page. And what's crazy is dandywalker, there's a foundation called Dandywalker Alliance. And all of our family, all of his teachers, everybody that we know go through the Amazon Smile, and you can give to your charity. And it's like, then you find the Facebook support groups, right? All these new moms. I'm talking about, you say this is 1 in 100,000. I see moms 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day all over the world in this group saying, I'm a new mom. I just found out at 17 weeks, my son, my daughter has dandywalker with a hole in the heart, or with no kidneys, or one kidney, or tumors on the kidney. So like I said, there's always that dual diet. There's always something coincided with Dandy. So Mason just had just the neuro and the palate. That's all he had. And we're very blessed for that. But there are some, like there's a symptom called dandywalker variant, which normal me and you never knew you had it until you get an MRI from an accident or something. Then you know. But it's literally, you will never know that person had anything. But then there's also dandywalker syndrome, or dandywalker malformation is what Mason has. Then there's dandywalker malformation, and there's some children that don't live past the age of 2. There are some children that have severe organ issues. There's children that are not able to even move. They are not able to breathe on their own. So that's why I said there's a very large spectrum of dandy. And that's what we call it, a dandy.
Right. So needless to say, with all your responsibilities, you felt overwhelmed.
Yeah. I was overwhelmed, but also I did not let people help. I tried to take it all on myself.
So you
I tried to be super mom, and I wanted to do it all myself. And, I wanted to make sure that, one, I don't want to say I was embarrassed, but I was still hurt about, did I do something? Did I eat something? Did I take something? And here I took Zofran, and I'm still thinking, did this make it happen? Like, what did I do? And that's always going to be in the back of my mind. So I felt more defeated, and I was angry with myself. It took a good 3 years for me to finally come to terms and say, you know what? The one thing the nurse told me when we had our family meeting to bring him home, to make sure he had all the support at home, his primary nurse, which we are still friends with, and she sees him all the time on Facebook, is God doesn't give you what you can't handle. God knew you're in the medical profession. God knows you are a great mom. And God knows that you will do anything for your children.
God does not give you more than you can bear.
Exactly. So I always think that in my mind. And I said, you know what? He is my blessing. He is my blessing. And I can tell you that now his teachers say, whatever you did with him, he is more intellectually ahead than anyone, because the way he learns, the way he does things. Like, for instance, I don't know if I told you this before, but he gave me my first hug by himself.
Oh.
He is 4. And I asked him, like we always do, and that bath time is the best time that he's really focused. Like, he's really actively focusing and wanting to learn. And he's really trying to show you what he knows. And we've always done, I grab his right hand and I always put it here, and I say, because he is visually impaired, I say, mom, yeah, you feel mama ear, mama's nose. And then I would always give him a kiss, and I would always hold his hand on my cheek, and I would pull myself into him to show, bend your arm to give me a kiss, or every time I got home, I would take that right arm and put it over my neck and give him a hug. And I was sitting on the floor playing with him with his little koala. And I said, Mommy wants a hug. And he flailed his arm up and grabbed my ear and pulled me in. And I scared him because I screamed in amazement, and I was just sitting there screaming and crying like your child first did the first steps. And all it was him hugging me, touching my face on his own. And those are the milestones you see with a child with special needs, is the little things, not the big milestones, the little things. Like now he won't stop doing it. He'll just want me to give him, he'll grab my face, he'll turn his head, and he just wants to give him raspberries all on his cheek.
How do you feel about this particular quote? When you overcare for someone, you undercare for yourself. Does that apply to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think the first time, I don't even know when the first time I actually did anything for myself. Oh no, once. I think I got a pedicure, an extended pedicure for myself. That was my self-care. And I feel very guilty when I do. Like when I go places for myself, I feel guilty. It's like a guilt feeling.
It's because is it because you feel obligated that you have to be with your son all the time to help him?
Yeah. Even though I know he has my mom and he has my husband, he has my oldest, my teenager, and I know that he's just, I have so much support and help, but I will always feel guilty, doing anything for myself. And I think that, as a parent with either having a special needs child or not, when you're a new parent, you're going to have that feeling no matter what. But as time goes on, sometimes you just can't get out of it. And, 10, 15, 20 years go by, you're getting ready to retire. And it's like, when did I do anything for myself? And then that's when you get a breakdown. And that's what causes arguments, especially with your spouse, because it's like, oh, go to TJ Maxx. I told you to go get stuff. Or no, I told you to go do this. But then it's that empty feeling like, why am I even doing this? Why, what is it going to do good for me? Yeah, I'm getting 5 minutes by myself, but honestly, I'd rather be home. And that's what I, even to this day, am having problems learning. Like today, I tried to go to the outlet when I was over there, and I think I stayed 15 minutes and went right back to my sister's house to sit with him, even though I know he was fine. It's just that heavy guilt feeling, and it's hard to break out of.
Have you considered going to like a support group for moms?
So I'm very thankful we have the dandywalker group with all the parents, and it's very one, educating, and two, it's very supportive. Like I have found friends in Germany, Alaska. One of Mason has a best friend named Sebastian, and it's so funny because they have the same hairdo, they have the same traits, they have the same personality, they even cross their legs the same way. And they have the same type of smile, the dandy cleft smile. And they're about a year and a half apart, and they're in Michigan. And his mom has become my best friend. And we've always said we want to get our boys together. They're best friends and they don't even know it yet, because we made them best friends,
Right.
And it's great to also see in the support groups what other children are accomplishing. I remember one little boy, I think his name was Oliver. he just started jumping on a trampoline, like one of those little trampolines with the bar, and he could barely hold himself up. And not even 6 months later, he's jumping on a trampoline. And it's like, I can't wait for my son to do that.
Oh.
Yeah. It's exciting hope.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I got to turn my light on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was gonna ask you, so what have other moms have done as far as like, if have you talked to anybody that's felt that same type of guilt that you felt? And what have they? Has anybody felt that, and what have they done?
A lot of times they're forced to. A lot of times they hit their breaking point. Sometimes they just have a mental breakdown. Sometimes it's more of, you either do it before you can come back and care for your son, because and good mental health, we have to.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, the audio went.
I said sometimes we have to be forced to, if that makes sense. We have to be forced to take that time for ourselves. And me, I have a tough time doing it. And there's times I'm dragged out the house and it's like, no, you're going, let's go to Home Goods. And my other kids are very supportive too, because, like when you're a new mom, you hardly get to take a shower by yourself. You never get that 5 minutes of peace. And my kids knew that was important for me to have. So there has been times to where, my oldest will go, Mom, go take a walk with the dog. I'll watch Mason for like 20 minutes. He's already done eating. My son is very knowledgeable if anything were to happen in emergency, what he needs to do. And that's a little bit of relief, because he'll do that, and he knows when I'm getting my breaking point.
How old is your son?
He's 16. He'll be 16 this year.
So, are there any goals or hobbies that you like to pursue?
Yes. One of my hobbies is I want to travel more. I used to do a lot of outdoors, a lot of hiking. I was always, my biggest plan was I'm going to hike every state in the Appalachian Trail. That was my goal as 17. And I want to keep that goal, but I know it's hard. I want to travel. It's hard to travel because I don't have a lot of family. I don't want to say that I can trust, because I can trust them, but I don't want to put that burden on them. It feels like I'm asking for too much, if that makes sense. And I know he's not a burden. He's the most easiest kid to take care of. He's self-independent. He does his own thing, right? And I want to travel more. And I think I'm going to start doing it, whether it's a mini getaway for a day and a half, going to Western Maryland and going to an antique shop, or just getting alone time at a B&B and, just having that alone time to paint my nails or take a nice bubble bath. I've never taken a bubble bath since he was born. And it's more like I just want that relaxed time, or even going shopping by myself and actually take the time to look. Those are the hobbies I like. And I believe those are just normal things people do, but not to me, because I don't have that time to do it. I don't have that motivation. I don't have that. I don't see myself doing it because of how quick I need to be when I'm out. But I am going to make that a goal. Is I want to travel more. And if I need to start traveling with him, I'll travel with him, and he's going to have fun. He'll do it.
I think what would help you is to start with the basics. And the most basic thing that you can start with, I truly believe, is um, during the week, uh, you just go on a walk with your dog for 20 minutes. Start right there. Like you, like your, I think you said your son said that, or your daughter told you to go walk the
My
dog.
son. Yeah,
Your
my
son,
son.
your
Hmm.
son said to walk the dog. Just start right there, and
Yeah.
because you know Mason is gonna be fine, and you just and don't be a fast walk either.
I
let
know.
let the dog sniff the flowers, the grass, everything. Like enjoy that walk, and then after that, once you progress from the walk, then you can move on to, okay, you know what? Let me drive to the store by myself, and then from there you can go shopping, and that's a step right there. And then
Lord knows I needed that today
after the
because
store,
I was going to the grocery store with my daughter and she done bought half the store. And I'm like, this is why I tried to go alone. I didn't even get a chance to go alone today because of my hot mess daughter. That's the start.
right? See, start with the store, then after that, go get your the nails done, the pedicure and manicure, and
Yes.
all
I think as now I know Mason's getting older and he goes to school full day. That's a full day. Like that's a full day, if I wanted to take a half a day from work and do a self-care day, I could do that knowing he's safe, knowing he's
exact.
in school. And that's what my sister recommended is, hey, he's going to be in school all day. You have the option to do things that you need to do without worrying about him.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's what you definitely need to start doing, especially when he gets to school. It's gonna be a whole lot easier for you. You have no excuse now.
No, I don't. You're going to hold
No
me to it.
excuse.
You're going to
Yes,
hold me to it.
I'm gonna call HSB like, ma'am.
They're like, do not disturb. You'll find a way. So I got to do it. I think that's what the best thing is knowing I have a great family of coworkers that understand and give good advice because some have kids, some don't, but some have a little bit more knowledge of, you know, knowing, what good motivation and mindset that you need. And they're open to that. They're not shutting their mind off about it, but giving support to others. And that's one of the best things I've noticed, that my mood has come better. I'm sleeping better at night. So
Good.
all the little things are happening and it's starting to show positive on my end.
What advice would you give someone that is experiencing um, kind of the similar situation that you're dealing with, um, whether it being the walker and self care, both are
Um,
common? Would you would you talk with them? What would you say?
Honestly, the worst thing that I did was Google. That's the first thing I tell them. Honestly, when I'm doing a support group with Dandywalker and that mom puts that post up of, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to do. Tell me what's all going on with your kid. Like they want to know an outcome before the baby's born. I said, don't Google. Whatever you do, do not Google because Google thinks the worst. Every dandy baby is different in their own way. Every dandy baby. They're not the same. Second, take all of the support that you can get. every resource, even if it's, every state has different resources. But here in Maryland, infants and toddlers, we had one of the best Hopkins support groups. The nurses came out to the house to, see how he was doing. Go see a therapist, go see somebody immediately, because even though you're not there yet, I wish I should have before. I kept it all in. I kept everything in. And then it was like the floodgates opening, because what happens is, if you don't, you start arguing with your significant other. You start the blame game. You start, I'm going to do this myself. You take all the support and take it. Don't think negative about it, and try not to worry. I know it sounds cliche. Don't worry too much, because they're going to surprise you. Take one day at a time and cherish each moment you have with your child, and just love their child, no matter what the severity is. I think every special needs parent or guardian is a different breed, and you become that different breed. And just don't Google anything, because that's what's going to scare you. Because it scared the crap out of me. Like, every day I was on that Google and texting my husband, like, oh, this is going to happen. Did you read this? This is going to happen. He's going to be this. And then he was born. And now look at him. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's doing amazing. He's so healthy. And I think he brings so much joy to me, knowing that I'm caring for him. And I know he has taught me to slow down in life, and always, always don't compare yourself to others. Do not compare your child to another child. Every child with special needs is different. They're only, one could be more complex than the other. But always support, and always speaking with somebody ahead of time, no matter if you don't feel down right there, but it's going to get there. You are not a superhuman. You are not. And always ask for help. If somebody is willing to give you help, take it. If somebody is willing to come in, now I never knew what the meaning of respite care was. Never knew. I thought it was an orphanage. I never knew. I never knew what respite care was. Now I know. I've never put my child in respite care, but now I understand why parents and caregivers go to respite care. They need a break. They do. They don't have, some of them don't have that biggest support. But always, if the help is given to you, take it. Take it. Because
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into my movie. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Enjoyed both my guests, Rashawn, Jennifer. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you again to all my supporters, to my subscribers. Again, make sure you guys continue to subscribe. Continue to download each episode. Make sure you share this movie. This is my first movie. So make sure y'all share. This took a lot of work to get this, put this together.
And a lot of wardrobe change.
Yes, a lot of wardrobe change.
Love it. It was good. It's good now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's this literally took a lot of editing and stuff that I did. So as you guys will see with the post credits and everything. So again, please just continue to support and continue to share this movie, and share it with your friends and family. And then, of course, with my podcast listeners out there, you will, of course, hear the audio version, but there will be a link posted so you can actually watch the movie yourself. Because I mean, it'll be close to about an hour and 30 minute, 2 hour-ish movie. So it's really nice. So y'all stay to the end.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Anthony. Thank you so much for tuning in. To my friends, to my family, to my subscribers. Your support means the world to me. To Rashawn, to Jennifer, thank you so much for allowing me to share your story with the world, for allowing me to bring hope to that one individual that may be dealing with the same or a similar situation that you guys were dealing with, and they can gain inspiration from this. To everybody again, and I can't stress this enough, this means a great deal to me because this took a long time for me to get done. This started out in June, and here it is, August. So thank you again. Final words are, it's okay not to be okay. If you need help, if you want to talk to somebody, you can reach out to me, or find that one person that you trust, your cousin, your friend, that uncle, that your mom, dad, or go to your prayer closet, talk to God. That way you can decompress, stay off social media. That way you can decompress. Again, always good to talk to somebody if you are dealing with a situation, if you have negative thoughts. Those are my final words, and I'll see you guys next time.